This lesson is on multi-step conversions. How do you know that you have a multi-step conversion on your hands? Well, if your task is to convert 5 microliters to milliliters, and you're going from one metric unit, or prefix I should say, to another, then what you have is a multi-step conversion. And because the metric prefixes of micro, which is 10 to the negative 6, and milli, which is 10 to the negative 3, these powers of 10 are only actually good to the base unit. So therefore, when we do a multi-step conversion, we always convert first to the base unit, which in this case is going to be liters, and from liters to milliliters. Notice that the microliters cancel and the liters cancel because they follow the diagonal relationship established top to bottom, top to bottom. When we're converting from micro to liters, micro means 10 to the negative 6. So there are 10 to the negative 6 liters in 1 microliter. And because milli means 10 to the negative 3, there are 10 to the negative 3 liters in 1 milliliter. 10 to the negative 6 divided by 10 to the negative 3, when we deal with powers of 10, 10 to the negative 6 divided by 10 to the negative 3, when we divide powers of 10, we subtract their exponents. 10 to the negative 6 minus a minus 3 becomes 10 to the negative 3. So our answer is 5.0 times 10 to the negative 3 milliliters. Let's try another. Let's say what you have is 0.087 kilograms. And what you want to know is how many centigrams is that? We start with 0.087 kilograms, and we convert the kilograms to our base unit of grams, and then we convert grams to centigrams. Notice I always put the units first so that I can set it up in such a way that the units that I want to get rid of cancel, and the unit I want to convert to is the one in the upper right hand box. Thinking about what kili means, kilo means 10 to the positive 3, centi means 10 to the negative 2. So we put these powers of 10 with our base units. There are 10 to the positive 3 grams in 1 kilogram, and there are 10 to the negative 2 grams in 1 centigram. Thinking about how powers of 10 work, when we divide powers of 10, we subtract. 10 to the third minus a minus 2. That becomes 3 plus 2. So our final answer, well, our answer so far, it's not quite our final answer, is going to be 0.087 times 10 to the positive 5. To write this in scientific notation, we want to move the decimal 2 places to the right. 8.7 times 10 to the positive 3 centigrams. Because when we move it to this position, we now only need to move it 3 more to the right. 8.7 times 10 to the positive 3 centigrams. The most difficult kind of multi-step conversion would be if you have 2 units. Let's say you're walking at a pace of 2.0 meters per second. And what you want to know is how many kilometers per hour is that? We write fractional units such as this as meters per second as 2.0 meters per 1 second. If you're driving in your car at 60 miles an hour, what you're really driving is 60 miles per 1 hour. Doing conversions and writing them like this makes them much easier to calculate. And you do one at a time. I know that I need to convert meters to kilometers. So what I'm going to do right now is actually just ignore the seconds. I'm going to convert my meters to kilometers first. Meters divided by meters will cancel. And kilometers, kilo means 10 to the positive 3. So in 1 kilometer, there's 10 to the positive 3 meters. Now that I've converted kilometers, I'm going to work on my seconds. Now I do know how many seconds there are in a minute. Notice here that because seconds was on the bottom of my fraction, in order to make seconds cancel, I now have to have seconds on the top of my conversion factor. I do know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. If I stopped here, my units would be kilometers per minute. But what I want is kilometers per hour, so minutes, hours. I also know there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So in order to get my final answer, I need to take 2, divide it by 10 to the positive 3, multiply by 60, and then multiply by 60 again. Taking out my calculator, that gives me an answer of 7.2 kilometers per hour. That is multi-step conversions.